Greetings, thank you for coming. Welcome back to HFY Storytime with me, your host, the Casual Deathworlder, where I narrate HFY short stories. On deck today we have the culinary episode. First up we have Zraxi's Pepper Shop by user TheObserver2099, followed by Meatballs and Marsupials by user T-Shitr Man. Original story links is in the video description. Please check it out and give the author some love, either an upvote or a comment or both. And while you're at it, take a moment to head on over to Patreon and check me out over there. Consider becoming a supporter and keep my editor energized with pizza and beer. Before we dive in, let me take a quick moment to give a shout out to my Tier 4 patrons, Russ of the Frozen North, New5AC, Nick, and Zachary Langmead. Thank you very much. And without any further ado, I give you Zraxi's Pepper Shop. 3000 Scoville. On average, the amount of capsaicinoids that is lethal to any sapient species known to the galactic community can be measured at 3000 Scoville heat units. Only a few blessed species are either immune to the effects of capsaicinoids or have higher than average tolerances. Those that are immune are the avians and reptilians who physically cannot be affected, and those with higher tolerances have built said tolerances up over millennia. For example, the Cador, my species' cradle planet, has various plants that use capsaicin as defense mechanism against those who would threaten seeds or the plant itself. It was actually a great addition to what would otherwise be bland foods. But while we get gastrointestinal disturbances at worst, other species face severe allergic reactions, intense pain, swelling, and severe fluid loss, and shock-induced heart attacks resulting in agonizing death. With such side effects, it has been weaponized in chemical weapons to scour battle lines and cities as poisons that send a hyperbolic message to the targets. Because of the horrors species faced with weaponized capsaicinoids, the Galactic Council banned the trade and transport of capsaicin in its natural sources. At the top of the list of species banned from trading such plants and rock compounds are the humans from Earth, and I will be honest, dear audience, I don't blame the old prudes this time because, Goddess Almighty, the humans are insane when it comes to their peppers. But I have a love of money in all its wonderful currencies, so our law writers can, as the humans say, pound sand. Now the curtains rise onto the stereotypical underbelly of a standard starport, where officials don't bother to patrol, be it sloth or the knowledge that we illicit merchants defend our businesses vigorously. Nestled in this spaceport by the more reputable areas is my shop. Here I sell my plants and fruits, mostly Terran peppers. My favorite customers being either unscrupulous scoundrels in search of a horrific chemical or humans with a yearning for a taste of home. However, as of late, I have been befuddled by some unwarranted lies that my peppers are of low quality, driving away my customers. Now, such rumors haven't been resolved after disposing of possible ignorant sources, so to dispel such ridiculous claims, I decided to resort to truly ridiculous action. To others, it's the casual creation of bioweapons that can wipe out entire populations in agonizing death. To the humans, it's a good old-fashioned chili cook-off. It was early in my waking cycle, so I had to use a small dose of caffeine to give me the boost of energy as I had need to get up before my typical opening time. When I did open my doors, my typical customer base of scum and villainy wasn't present. Instead, entering stage right was the UNSC personnel carrying unmarked crates and luggage packs. "Well, hello there, respectable humans," I imitated the human smile gesture. "What can I help you with?" One of the humans, the captain, stripped of any identifying marks, stepped up.
"We're a bit lost,"
he chuckled innocently.
"Can you point us to a good place to have a cookout? We're on shore leave at the moment."
"Well, I could, but I must get ready for the walking cycle," I replied in a tone I've practiced since I was a fawnling. The captain feigned guilt.
"Oh my, well, we won't take up too much of your time then, miss."
Sadly, it seems, patience is truly a universal virtue not shared. "Come on, let's just go in already," some UNSC grunt cut in. "The ship's out of jalapenos, and I heard you have the best in this sector. I'm craving some poppers badly." Everyone echoed similar responses.
"You caddles and your theatrics,"
I mean, we are in the shady part of the station. We can't really act innocent.
To be fair, even the meat shops here get protested by herbivores.
I cleared my throat and tried to get a dialogue. Very well then, humans. I succeeded in making my words heard. Come on inside. Just please don't mind my other villainous customers. As for the record, my human guest who is yet to be named, we all live on a stage and we all have roles. For my role is to be the enabling merchant of a shred of both flavor and pain. I posed dramatically, paying no real mind to the eye rolls. I welcome you to Zraxi's first spice cookout. Said humans filed in, taking out from their crates assorted cookingware and ingredients, key props in this event. As for me, I acted in accordance with my usual role, providing quality product, in this case being the peppers from their cradle world. Red peppers, jalapenos, habaneros, chili peppers, ghost peppers, and my most favorite of all peppers, the Carolina Reaper. But what made the events more entertaining was seeing old companions from Earth. Friend Thomas, he who sows and reaps. I embraced the human whose birthplace is the American state of Texas. I welcome you warmly to my shop.
Nice to see you too, Zraxi,
The human replied in kind, carrying a large crate.
Thanks for the invitation. The crews have been dying for some kick in their food, and our stockpiles of peppers are practically empty, and we're dry on hot sauce.
Oh, it's my pleasure to work with such a respectable species with deep pockets, I nodded, rubbing my paws together. Now come, I have plenty of ingredients to choose from. A good while after the humans' arrival came my more common patrons of assassins, unscrupulous heads of state, and warlords, all equipped with biosuits if they were smart characters, and none if their idiocy masqueraded as bravery. It was a delightful thing to observe their expressions of intrigue and shock. In my shop, in boiling pots and portable ovens, were delightful confections made by humans. One was either afraid of a species already known for being quite bizarre, usually creating poisonous meals, or deeply intrigued to watch such a display of pure culture.
You having fun there, Zraxi?
Friend Thomas, who sows and reaps, was tending to a pungent brew of chili. I nodded in the affirmative, sampling the rich chili. My device and tongue were in agreement. The chili was at 30,000 Scoville or so. It brought a fiery taste I so loved. It wasn't intense enough to warrant the usage of casein-rich milk, a great antidote. I, of course, buy from earth farmers like Tom, who supplies seeds and peppers he and his fellow farmers have bred and grown. How long till the sticks of questionable meat are ready? I asked.
The hot dogs need a bit more time to cook. In the meantime, I got something new to show you,
Human Thomas answered before he was rudely interrupted by an interloper entering stage left.
Do you expect this farce to convince us that your peppers are quality, Kador?
An unsuited Andashi scowled. The annoying anthropod was cutting off friend Thomas with his chittering.
You cannot avoid the truth.
I was about to go on a tirade, possibly a murderous one, but was halted by the human whose chili I delighted in.
All righty then, Wasp Man. How about we take a deep breath and calm down?
Friend Thomas interjected in a calming tone.
Feck off, ape!
The Andashi hissed at friend Thomas.
I would kill every single instance of your kind in this so-called establishment if I could.
Friend Thomas's body tensed up, but he kept a mask of civility.
Well, that's not very nice.
He spoke in a patronizing manner.
Tell you what, I made this with Zraxi's cayenne peppers, so if her peppers aren't good for anything like us apes, you'll be perfectly fine. What do you say? Want to try Mama's classic recipe? With pleasure.
The Andashi took the bull with no caution. Those that were around the Andashi took a few steps away from the moronic fool and his blind ignorance of the bioweapon called human delicacy. Other Andashi chittered pleas of reconsideration. Others mocked the Andashi, while those whose species are bitter rivals with the anthropods played the part of grim encourager. I watched in anticipation as the Andashi's mandibles approached the capsaicin-rich brew. Normally, they would act to test a possible meal with their antennae to confirm that what they wish to masticate is, in fact, edible. Unfortunately, it was bravado that stopped this life-saving action, and the arthropod consumed the pungent bro spice. A spasm coursed through his body, sending the bowl and its contents flying to the ceiling and dropping to the floor, leaving a mess of porcelain and food. The rude guest screamed in pain, becoming even more incomprehensible, writhing on the floor with more and more vigor until all at once, and with a gross discharge from their sharp mandibles and armored thorax, the Ondashi seized. Their vibrant compound eyes traded the color of life for the dullness of death. I will admit, I felt pride in death. In this way, some doubters have likely had their opinions duly corrected. Might I ask how you feel about your direct role in this Ondashi's death? I turned to friend Thomas, summoning a cleaning drone on my holopad. The human simply shrugged.
Partners should have known better, and they all had it coming after Sirius.
He then took a sip of his chili, only mildly affected by its toxicity. He hummed, satisfied with the flavor he created, much to the glare and chittering of the other Ondashi in the room. As all enemies do when a bitter foe falls, the humans took a modicum of satisfaction, as did their allies. And those in between this bitter rivalry were left mildly disgusted or found their purse strings becoming looser. Speaking of knowing better, I sighed audibly and loudly, making sure I could be heard by all in my shop. Are you sure you want to participate in the Reaper of Carolina pepper-eating contest? The nearly 2.5 million Scovilles of capsaicinoids will likely make things hard to cover from your superiors. I hear legends that they are toxic enough to cause notable distress and, in some incredibly rare cases, death in you humans. I basked in the murmuring, my former doubters in shock, and my faithful clientele beyond intrigued. I could feel the currencies ready to jump into my accounts as purse strings were practically severed. The same peppers I have grown and plan to sell, I continued, unable to hold back a wicked grin.
Yeah, friend Thomas rolled his eyes. Don't pretend you're not just as shocked as they are. I remember the face you made when I scarfed down a ghost pepper. It made things so worth it.
I recalled the moment of abject terror for the human's well-being when I first met Thomas. My equipment had read 1 million Scoville, a deadly level for my species. I remember that his reaction to my warranted caution to handling the fruit, a chuckle followed by taking the pepper from my gloved hands and consuming the deadly plant. For him to survive the ensuing ordeal was one thing. For him to recover like nothing happened had left me forever stunned. I thought you were going to die, friend Thomas, I huffed indignantly.
But I didn't,
the human cheekily grinned.
My toilet, on the other hand... Oh, the dogs are done.
Friend Thomas, your face was red with blood and your body had practically half dehydrated itself. How can you casually pass that off?
Not as bad as a Carolina Reaper, he shrugged. Or Zach when he ate my new pepper. Poor fellow was in the ER for a week.
Oh, and why is that? I curiously inquired.
I bred it to have ricin and ferrotoxin in it,
he shrugged nonchalantly. My footing nearly collapsed. You are lying, I pointed in accusation. The human simply nodded in the negative.
I grew that pepper.
He pulled out a satchel, pulling out one small plastic container with a childish grin on his face.
Get one right here.
He braggadociously shook the container, eliciting a dull knocking sound.
Was a pain to breed it with all the catty, but eventually I got something that wasn't completely sterile.
Why... Fine, I guess. I gestured with wide eyes. By the fecking ancients, you humans are too much sometimes. Just give me a stick of questionable meat with chili, please, friend Thomas.
And now, Meatballs and Marsupials by user T-Shitr Man. The dining hall aboard the Galactic Concordance diplomatic vessel High Honor was quiet.
too quiet, as far as Zraxi of the Thrixian Spindle clan was concerned. He poked at the strange red sphere on his plate with a cautious talon, suspicious of both the smell and the sauce. "That's meatball," said a voice beside him. "Well, fake meat. They say it's made of mushrooms and something called smoked regret. I don't know, I just like the spice." Zraxi slowly turned his gaze and stared and kept staring. The being beside him grinned, a wide, toothy grin that revealed serrated molars and canines like bone-white daggers. His ears twitched. His fur was patchy but clean, black and white like a storm cloud's at dusk. His hands were clawed but well manicured, and he wore a bright red shirt that said, "I bite, but only my friends." Zraxi's 6 hearts skipped in unison.
You are... What are you?"
he asked, unable to stop the tremor in his throat.
"Oh, right, sorry."
The creature wiped his claws and extended a hand. "Name's Taz, short for Tazrak. I'm a Tasmanian devil. Technically a neo-marsupial bipedal U-class uplifter, but I prefer person. Less syllables, you know." Zraxi blinked. His fellow diplomats, a soft-spindled Glithari and a feather-crested Ziluan, leaned away simultaneously. "A devil?" the Glithari hissed. "Oh, don't worry," said Taz, cheerful as ever, slapping his own crest. "That's just branding. We're not actual devils, not anymore." Zraxi whispered, "Not anymore." Taz leaned in conspiratorially, Meatball still skewered on his fork. "Yeah, well, when humanity first uplifted us, whew, total mess. I bit 7 scientists on day 1. Didn't even feel bad. We didn't understand anything, just freaked out, angry, fast little monsters with anxiety and rage issues." He took a bite, chewing loudly, then shrugged. "But humans? They didn't give up, nah, they never do. Therapy, hugs, snacks, and eventually, TikTok." Zraxi hesitated. "TikTok?" "Cursed artifact," the Ziluan muttered. Taz laughed. "Basically, yeah." The Glithari was trying to discreetly slide away, but Taz reached out and gently stopped him. "Hey, no worries. I'm not here to bite anyone. I'm part of the Diplomatic Outreach Uplift Division, Dowd. We're here to explain how it all went down. You guys are lucky. Most diplomats get a kangaroo or a dolphin. I'm just a little old devil with social skills." Zraxi tried to compose himself.
"So you're not the only one of your kind?"
"Oh, no," Taz said, beaming. "There's tons of us. Hundreds of species. You wouldn't believe how creative humans got once the tech stabilized. We've even got sapient crows now. Sharp as hell. Wear tiny suits. Run their own law firms. There's raccoons running shipping companies. Orangutans running meditation retreats. There's this one platypus dude named Geneva. Runs a fusion reactor with his mind. And the otters?" he snorted. "Don't get me started on the otters. Those little gremlins run a resort on Europa that's technically a neutral zone in 4 interstellar conflicts." The aliens exchanged glances.
"You uplifted otters into neutral zone negotiators?" Zraxi asked, stunned.
"Well, humans did," said Taz. "I just do my part. Mostly snacks and speeches."
The Glithari shivered. "But to uplift so many without a planetary collapse or war?"
"Oh no, we had both of those," Taz said, waving his fork like a pointer. "Absolute chaos for about 20 years. One of the raccoon enclaves started a trash-based religion and tried to secede from Earth. Then the gorillas formed a labor union and broke the oil industry, and the dolphins kept trying to start their own navy. But humans, they just kept going. Talked us down, brought us in, helped us find meaning, gave us cartoons, snacks, weird holidays, and rights." He paused to sip from a fluorescent blue drink that smelled like jet fuel and sugar. "Now we're citizens. We vote. We fall in love. We argue on the internet. Some of us are in bands. I play bass.
You play bass? The Zeluan echoed, as if that were the most terrifying part.
Yep, Screamo Funk Fusion. Very niche.
Taz smiled and leaned back.
You know, when I first saw the stars, I screamed for 12 minutes straight. Thought there were eyes watching me. But a human held my hand and just kept saying, "You're safe. We're all watching together now."
The silence at the table was thick, but not uncomfortable. Zraxi looked at his meatball, then at Taz. Would you like to sit with us?
Taz's eyes lit up. Oh, hell yeah. You guys have great desserts.
The three aliens made space. Taz plopped down happily, tail curling around the chair leg.
As they resumed their meal, laughter began to bubble up, cautious first, then genuine. Stories were shared, jokes were cracked. The devil talked about his koala friend who accidentally became a monk. The Glithari admitted that they were terrified of Earth squirrels. Taz explained the time a parrot argued with the UN ambassador and won. And for a little while, the galaxy felt just a little bit smaller. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am the Casual Deathworlder, your host, and this has been another episode of HFY Short Stories. I hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. Yeah, this one was kind of fun. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and smash those like and subscribe buttons and maybe drop us a comment down below. It all helps feed the hungry algorithm. And before I go any further, as always, a huge shout out to my editor, Gregor. Thank you very much, buddy. I could never do this without you. Okay, question, who's got the question? Cars. What is your favorite kind of car? Leave your answers in the comments down below. Until next time, be safe, be well. I love you all. Bye-bye. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to do the thing. If there are any here who believe that this thing should not be done, speak now or forever hold your piss. There being no objections, greetings. Thank you for coming.